I know it hurts, buddy, but we gotta get you away. Hang on. Hang on. I know it hurts, man, but we gotta get you moved. Okay, this is good. Right here.
This man was discovered just moments away from burning to death, barely alive. But what the investigators on the scene would soon uncover was far more chilling. He wasn't the only one trapped inside the burning house.
Got everybody out? There's 2 people inside? Lafayette, please! I hear something in there.
Once detectives rescued the survivor, it quickly became clear that this case wasn't just about a fire. It was something much more disturbing.
My subject here is saying that someone shot the landlord in the house that he was in with him.
And the real horror of that night would only begin to reveal itself when a grieving friend came forward with revelations that changed everything.
Well, not looking good for Ron. Doesn't look like he made it.
What the?
Oh my God.
I know the fire was intentionally set.
Lafayette, please, 911.
Shot fired.
Somebody got shot?
Yes, ma'am.
Did somebody shoot you?
Yeah, no, that was ready to stab me.
Okay, is the person there that did it?
Whoa! Fire!
What?
Fire!
Okay, what's that noise going off? Are you still there?
In the early hours of April 7th, 2018, Lafayette police were urgently dispatched to the scene.
Come over here, have a seat.
When officers arrived, they were met with a horrifying sight, exactly as the 911 caller had described. The entire house was engulfed in flames. Near the mailbox, they found the caller, Jimmy Knights, badly injured. But what haunted them most was what they couldn't yet see. Another man was still trapped inside.
Get medics here. I have the subject out front as well that's been stabbed, bleeding. Yeah, we need to probably get him moved, if we can. Hey, do you want to glove up? We're going to carry him away. Yeah. Hey, can you walk? Can you see if you can stand up? All right. Can you move this arm? Yeah, we do. Come on. Hey, we're just going to grab you if you can't stand up, okay? I know it hurts, buddy, but we got to get you away. Hang on. Let's just go down here. Hang on. I know it hurts, man, but we got to get you moved. Okay, this is good. Right here. It's Lafayette, please. They're getting dressed. Okay, I just need you guys as soon as you can, please.
Yes.
Hey, I need you out of the house. There's a fire next door. You need to get out right now, please.
Okay.
Are you the only one home?
No.
How many are in here?
I got 1 in the bedroom and I got 3.
Let's get them out quick, please.
It wasn't until the flames intensified that investigators realized Jimmy's landlord, Ron Wilds, was still inside, likely burning alive.
White! Try it. Hit. Did it again. Yeah, please, get him out inside.
Desperate to reach him, officers tried breaking through the front window. With no clear cause of the fire, they were completely unprepared for what lay inside.
So what, do you guys have a gas mask in your car? I do not. Who is that? That is the guy that I think is stabbed. Yeah, we're hitting it right now.
Smoke was coming out through the top of the roof. It was coming out from underneath the door and around it. And at one point, we had to back away because we were all kind of coughing at that moment. We had possibly another person still inside the house, so we couldn't account for them or even what was going on in there.
The fire, smoke, and extreme heat blocked their entry. Fearing the suspect who had stabbed a man and set the house on fire might still be nearby, they cautiously circled around to the back.
There's blood crawling up this. Lafayette, please! See if you can get through that goddamn fence. Hinges are coming this way. Trying to get rid of them. Man.
It began to feel like a horror game, with dangerous paths, wrong doors, fire everywhere, and a suspect hiding in the shadows.
Lafayette, please! I hear something in there.
Lafayette Police.
Police! No! Come to my boy!
So we started yelling in to try to get attention of anybody that may be inside.
Hey, come to my boys!
Get down on the ground and come towards our boys. Stay low.
Get out of the smoke. Go. Let fire do their job.
Receiving no response and choking on smoke, the officers were forced to retreat and wait for the fire to die down. But later, firefighters confirmed something no one expected. They never had a chance to save Ron.
Hi, this is Gordon with a transfer of a possible DOA at Riverdale Road and McIntosh Farm.
Ron didn't die in the fire, and he wasn't stabbed. He had been shot multiple times before the night of terror even began. With no immediate clues pointing to the attacker, detectives had to rely on the only thing left behind, what remained of the house and its burnt clues. Among those clues, they found an L-shaped pour pattern of an ignitable liquid.
This crime scene was a little bit different because, in a fire, you're gonna lose a lot of things. You're gonna lose DNA, you're gonna lose fingerprints. So we try to keep everything intact as best as possible to get the best evidence that we can send to the lab to help us put these pieces of this puzzle together.
Shooting, stabbing, and arson, all in one night. But luckily for investigators, it also left behind plenty of evidence.
Close to the bed was Ron's wallet with his driver's license through Indiana, and it had been gone through.
It was a mystery from the get-go. We didn't have anything to go by. We had evidence, but no suspects. It was a true whodunit.
Their best hope of uncovering the full truth was Jimmy. But with over 29 stab wounds, he might not survive. They rushed to get his statement while he was still alive.
So there was a very dire need to speak to him fast, in that if he had to go into surgery and did not make it through surgery.
You up that flat? Somebody shot your landlord.
Lafayette 14. My secretary is saying that someone shot the landlord in the house that he was in with him. They can hear saying that the landlord was shot prior to the house catching on fire.
Jimmy told them he woke up to the sound of gunfire, but when he opened the door, he witnessed something even more disturbing.
So he opens up his door and looks towards Ron's room and sees an individual firing at Ron. And then when he surprised this individual, he fought for the gun.
In the middle of this fight, he wasn't sure exactly what happened. He thought he was being punched or hit, but it turned out he was being stabbed. He was able to get away, get back into his room, call 911, and as he's doing that, he's hearing some more shots, and then sees that there's flames and there's a fire, and he tries to get out of the house.
Finally, they had a suspect. It looked like the case would soon be solved, but they were wrong. What happened next was rare. Detectives were about to hear something they almost never do, especially from someone sitting in the suspect's chair. From the very beginning of the interview, two things stood out.
I had a 38 Rossi in there that's gone. I had a 40 Smith Wesson MP that's gone out. I mean, we carry him for personal protection.
You said you had a 38 Rossi. What color was it?
Black.
Okay.
Stub nose. That had a leather case made by Rossi and a tan leather case.
Huh?
Like
He
a
broke window in his van, too.
hip holster thing. Oh yeah, my window
Is that
busted
the
out.
only thing that was...
The only thing of any value.
Okay. Just other minor things that were taken as well?
Everything in my truck's been tossed. My glove box. Everything in my backseat was tossed around. Everything in this truck. I had 2 cartons of cigarettes in this truck that's gone. A cup full of change, gone.
From there, it was all downhill emotionally, the kind of attachment you'd never expect between an employer and an employee.
Yeah, I work for myself, and I work for Ron.
Ron? Who's Ron?
Ron Wiles, the owner of that building.
What building?
On 2700 South Street. He's a landlord / subcontractor.
Okay, so so he's your landlord basically at 2700. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You do work for him?
Yeah.
What kind of work?
Cleanup, demolition, tree trimming.
His reaction was strange, especially knowing he was heading to jail either way. But the silence in his grief and the way detectives responded suggested they were willing to believe him. Once Chris composed himself, he gave them something: leads. And that marked the beginning of the disturbing truth they would uncover in the second half of the investigation. His interview gave investigators 2 names of people who had recently had a conflict with Ron, and the mystery was far from over. Now, finding those 2 wasn't just important, it was urgent. One of them could be the killer. One name, Richard Stevenson, wasn't hiding out of state. He was already in custody in a nearby hospital.
Well, so I did talk to some of the other detectives that have been at the house, and it's not looking good for Ron. Doesn't look like he made it.
What the fuck?
So that's part of this issue. Although we're asking you guys these questions and talking to people, neighbors, and that kind of stuff.
And I know the fire was intentionally set.
Yeah, because there's some other things that go on that were involved, I guess, with the fire.
Man, no, but yeah, that was damn.
Richard was finally ready to talk, and what he told police answered almost every question they had been chasing. Almost. He described Ron as a good man.
So with that being said, and again, this is just part of my job, but you didn't have anything to do with the fire. You wouldn't have hurt Ron.
Hurt him, he's dead.
You wouldn't have hurt him in any way with any type of weapon or anything like that? Okay.
Instant tears, very upset, didn't really want to believe what I was telling him, and very adamant that he did not have anything to do with Ron being dead.
Oh no.
Someone who believed in second chances, even for people who didn't deserve them. He claimed he wasn't involved in the shooting, the stabbing, or the fire, but he did offer up something police had been searching for: a name.
He wasn't a bad dude. He always helped me through my whole life.
Do you know anybody that would have want to hurt him or see him?
Yes. Oh my God.
That's what we're trying to figure out here. Okay. So do you have any?
He was a good dude.
Andrew Lawrence. According to Richard, it all started when Andrew needed bail money for his girlfriend. Whether it was the truth or a convenient scapegoat, it gave police their next direction.
People have been mad at Ron in the last year. Let's see. People have been mad at Ron in the last year.
Maybe let's narrow that down. So like last couple months.
Rick turned him got into it. He kicked Andy out, cold off this property.
But were these recently?
Andy Airport was, recently. Like that's been,
What was their issue?
Andrew Lawrence wasn't new to law enforcement. They already knew his name, for all the wrong reasons.
It's just based on his prior history of multiple arrests for multiple things.
The fact that both Chris and Richard, 2 separate sources, pointed to the same man confirmed something. Police were on the right track. Andrew wasn't just a suspect anymore.
We didn't have no food in our house, and he didn't have enough work. He wasn't work that day. He said, "This is all I can do for you. You might go and you and your son might go hungry." But he went out and bought us like almost $80 worth of groceries and gave me $20 to be able to get back and forth into school. Ron was a good guy, man. He was a good guy. And he didn't deserve something like that. Neither did his roommate either.
With his criminal history spiraling, he was becoming dangerous. They needed to find him, fast.
He's just $35 right now going to get his old lady out of jail. Swear to God, he kept saying every day, "I'm gonna rob him."
That he was talking about robbing him on Saturday?
Yeah, that's the day that it happened.
What was his exact words?
He said, "I'm gonna rob this fat son, go get my wife out of jail."
And that son of a was Ron?
Yes.
And then to get his wife out of jail?
His wife died. Mm-hmm. His wife died, but his girlfriend was in jail.
Okay. So to get his girlfriend out of jail?
Yes, his girlfriend. I didn't need to say his wife because his wife was died. His wife died previously, a couple days before that. The old lady got arrested. And Ron kicked him out of the day houses he had. I kicked him off the property. I asked when he was saying, "I'm gonna rob his son." Every reason he kept saying, "Saturday, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna get him on Saturday right after he collects all his rent money, kill his son."
Police learned that Andrew's girlfriend, Paige, had already been bailed out. But soon, their paths would cross again.
When'd you talk to him? When did he say that?
He said that once. Ron's place.
When was the last time you said it?
probably about a week before Ron got killed. I mean, it just makes sense to me. It was a Saturday.
He's saying he's gonna kill him, and
it was a Saturday that it all happened.
So he said, I'm gonna go kill Ron to go get money to get his girlfriend out of jail.
Yeah, that's what he wanted. He said he was gonna kill Ron because he needed $1,000 to get his old lady out of jail.
Gotcha.
As they monitored a phone call between Andrew and Paige, the pieces finally fell into place. One question from Paige revealed everything. Everything Richard had said made sense. Andrew said nothing about that night. Not because he forgot, but because he didn't want to. And that said it all.
Alcorn's is kind of one of those guys that's just a little out there, volatile, I guess. We found out that Andrew Alcorns and Paige both had been kicked out of one of Ron's apartments, and she had been arrested in a different county a couple days prior.
Police now had no doubt. Andrew was their prime suspect. All that was left was to catch him and finish the story. Finally, the news arrived. Andrew and Paige had barricaded themselves inside a home in Ohio. It was clear. They had no plans to surrender. They were preparing for a standoff.
I got the information about her arrest and just kind of what had happened. I asked if I could have copies or access to their jail phone system so that I could listen to any jail phone calls that were previously made. On the recordings from that county, there were phone calls from Paige to Andrew Alcorn.
Andrew refused to give in, and the situation kept escalating. It only got worse. After 11 hours of tense standoff, police finally stormed the house and discovered exactly what they feared.
How much you gotta get still?
300.
Still gotta get. I thought you only had a couple hundred left earlier.
I do, Paige. I ain't been able to get nothing.
Oh no, baby.
I'm trying my hardest, man.
I'm not getting out tonight, huh?
I'm gonna try, girl.
Why didn't you ask Ron last night?
What?
I said, why didn't you ask Ron last night? Andy, I'm not gonna make it in here. Do you realize that?
Paige, I'm trying my absolute hardest, I swear to God.
They brought Paige in for questioning, determined to find out what really happened that night.
Once we learned what we learned from Paige and Andy's phone call, we thought that the financial resource that Ron would provide for Paige to get out of jail was absolutely a motive for this crime.
Next, they tried to speak to Andrew, but he refused to cooperate or even meet with them.
Dayton SWAT team and a suspect now in its 9th hour. SWAT officers fired several dozen tear gas canisters into an apartment here on Arnold Place near Salem Avenue, trying to force the people to come outside. News Center 7's Mike Campbell brought us the very latest at 5 o'clock. He is still on scene with what has happened over the last hour. Mike.
Well, James, we can tell you that there's been a general downgrade in the frequency of tear gas canisters and concussion grenades being fired into the house, although you hear some right now. The other thing that has changed is in the last half hour, the SWAT team members have moved a truck that was parked further back on the grass right up against the building, and they are continuing to look for at least one person that's still in an apartment with shattered windows.
But when DNA from a pair of headphones found at the crime scene came back, it confirmed everything.
As we're driving to Ohio, I'm on the phone, text messages with the kind of the negotiators, and they're like, yeah, we have the throw phone in the house. We can see 2 people moving, but they're firing rounds at our officers. Our officers have fired back.
Once we learned the standoff situation and the SWAT team being activated and gas being inserted into the home, obviously my concern is, the police, because this individual we knew was dangerous, was also on drugs. So we weren't sure what was going to happen. Either he could shoot one of the officers or shoot Paige. We were concerned that this was not going to end well.
Andrew Alorns was charged with the murder of Ron Wilds and the attempted murder of Jimmy Knights.
Based on all the information that we'd had, what we believe happened is Ron had money. Andrew did go and ask Ron for some money to bond out Paige. Didn't go the way that he wanted it to go. So Andrew decided, I'm gonna take this into my own hands. Shots were fired. He didn't anticipate that there was gonna be a third person in Jimmy Knight. There was a fight, a confrontation. He stabbed Mr. Knight several times, thinking probably that he killed him. And so now he's freaking out because he just shot a guy, maybe stabbed a guy to death. What do I do? I'm gonna set the house on fire.
He accepted a plea deal and was sentenced to 70 years in prison.
They found Andrew in the closet with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But he did not die.
The apartment was searched. semi-automatic handgun was located along with ammunition, and then there was drugs and drug paraphernalia also located.
Paige pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence and received a 1-year sentence for her role in the standoff.
We asked her specifically about the possibility and the capabilities of Andrew killing Ron, and she did say that he was suicidal and had been doing a lot of drugs and was pretty much an unstable person at this point.
With Andrew sentenced and Paige held accountable, the case was officially closed.
Based on everything that we had, the evidence, the statements, his actions, we did believe that at this point, Andrew Alcorns was our suspect.
But what remained was the tragic story of a man who tried to help, and the people who betrayed him.
To be remembered as the person that he truly was. The kind-hearted person that would help other people down on their luck, regardless of their social status.
I think Ron did trust people too much. He just felt that there was good in everyone. Old, young, it didn't matter. Ron felt like there was good in all people.
Ron Wilds didn't die because he made a mistake. He died because someone he trusted made a choice